Every bag of rice in your pantry right now contains arsenic, not as a trace contaminant from the air, but as a direct result of where it was grown and a decision made decades ago to plant rice on land that was poisoned on purpose. You are going to find out which 7 rice brands consistently test highest for arsenic, 3 steps you can take today to cut your exposure by more than half, and 4 California-grown brands that have tested the lowest of anything available in American supermarkets. Everything here comes from Consumer Reports, the FDA, Healthy Babies' Bright Futures, and peer-reviewed research published in Environmental Science and Technology. Here is the origin of the problem. For decades, cotton farmers in the American South, primarily in Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi, controlled boll weevils with arsenic-based pesticides. 30,000 tons of those chemicals were applied to those fields over several decades. The arsenic soaked into the soil. It does not break down, it does not wash away. Then cotton became less profitable, and those same fields were converted into rice paddies. Rice is uniquely dangerous in this context. It absorbs 10 times more arsenic from contaminated soil than any other cereal crop. The result is that rice grown in the American South contains, on average, nearly double the arsenic of rice grown in California. A 2007 study published in Environmental Science and Technology by researchers at the University of Aberdeen found southern U.S. rice averaged 0.3 micrograms of arsenic per gram versus 0.17 micrograms per gram for California rice. Consumer Reports tested 697 samples across multiple years and found the same pattern every time. There is no FDA limit for arsenic in rice for adults. Let's go through the brands. Uncle Ben's, now sold as Ben's Original. Arkansas grown, the brand is headquartered in Houston and sources primarily from the U.S. South, the highest arsenic growing region in the country. The Healthy Babies' Bright Futures report found that 1 in 4 rice samples from common brands exceeded the FDA's own action level for infant rice cereal. Ben's Original is among the most widely consumed brands in American homes, serving as a primary rice source for millions of families. Minute Rice, instant rice. The quick cook processing strips some of the bran layer, which does reduce arsenic slightly compared to brown rice. However, the underlying grain is still typically sourced from southern U.S. fields with elevated baseline arsenic. The rapid processing also does not address the absorbed inorganic arsenic in the grain itself. Walmart Great Value Long Grain White Rice. Sourced from southern U.S. growing regions, at the price point it sells for, it sources from wherever costs are lowest, which means Arkansas, Louisiana, and Texas, the highest arsenic regions. No independent testing results are published for this brand. Goya White Rice, widely sold in Latin communities across the country, standard southern U.S. commercial sourcing. Consumer Reports found that white rice grown in the Southeast showed the highest average arsenic levels among all white rice varieties tested. Trader Joe's Brown Rice. This one requires extra attention. Brown rice has consistently tested for 80% more arsenic than white rice of the same variety, because arsenic concentrates in the outer bran layer. Consumer Reports specifically noted that brown rice is riskier than white rice, and that brown rice consumers should be the most conscious of origin. Success. Rice. Boil and bag rice, sourced primarily from the Arkansas's growing region. The boil and bag format, while convenient, does not represent a meaningful reduction in arsenic when the underlying grain was grown in contaminated soil. Carolina Rice. The name is not a coincidence. This brand sources from southeastern United States growing regions. Research by Healthy Babies' Bright Futures confirm that white rice grown in the Southeast consistently tested for the highest heavy metal levels of any rice category they analyzed. Here are 3 steps you can take today. First, check the origin on every bag. The words "grown in USA" without a state specification almost always mean the American South. California-grown rice is labeled as such because it is a selling point. If the bag says California, it is the lower arsenic option. If it says grown in USA without specifying California, assume Southern US. Second, cook your rice like pasta. Research published by the Dartmouth Toxic Metals Research Program showed that cooking rice in a 6-to-1 water to rice ratio, boiling it and then draining the excess water, removes up to 50% of the arsenic from the grain. This one cooking change cuts your exposure in half without buying anything new. Third, switch to white over brown when possible. Consumer reports found that white basmati from California, India, or Pakistan contain the lowest inorganic arsenic of any rice type tested, roughly half that of standard brown rice. If you eat rice multiple times per week, making this variety switch meaningfully reduces your lifetime exposure. Here are 4 brands that consistently test lower. Lundberg California White, Jasmine Rice. Grown in the Sacramento Valley. After Consumer Reports published its 2012 investigation, Lundberg CEO Grant Lundberg publicly committed to testing over 200 samples of the company's rice supply and sharing all results with the FDA. They are the only major rice company to have done this proactively and publicly. Arsenic levels in Lundberg's aromatic varieties consistently come in near the bottom of U.S. produced rice. Available at most grocery stores for around $4 to $6 per pound. Nishiki California Medium Grain Rice. Grown in California, widely available at mainstream grocery stores for $3 to $5 per pound, a standard grocery store option that happens to be from a lower arsenic growing region. Kokuho Rose California, California grown, available at most Asian grocery stores and major supermarkets, competitively priced at $3 to $5 per pound, a clean, accessible option that requires no specialty shopping. Rice Select Jasmati California, California, grown jasmine basmati hybrid. Rice Select publishes its growing region on the label and sources from California farms, available at Target, Walmart, and most major grocery chains for $4 to $6 per pound. The arsenic problem in American rice is not a new discovery. Consumer Reports first published on it in 2012. The FDA has been analyzing it since 2013. Healthy Babies' Bright Futures found it in 100% of the samples they tested in their most recent study. No federal arsenic limit for rice exists for adults. The only change is knowing the geography and choosing accordingly. You now know the map. You know the 2 cooking changes that cut exposure without changing what you eat. And you have 4 brands that come from the lower arsenic growing region. What rice is in your pantry right now? Check the label for the origin and drop it below.